Hello everyone, my name is Richie and welcome back to another video. Today join me for another What to Expect video, and today we're talking about the upcoming MBTA Commuter, Boston South to Worcester. So yeah, today I'm doing one of them expectation videos I normally do for upcoming routes, and today I'm a little bit late to this one, but yeah, we've got MBTA Commuter which is coming out next week, and I'm quite excited for this one. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, this is the first of many releases for Train Sim World 5, and also it's my first What to Expect video as a Dovetail ambassador, so this is going to be quite fun. I'm looking forward to doing this. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about this route and talk about, you know, the timetable, the rolling stock and all that sort of good stuff. So let's jump straight into it. So let's start where we always do, with a little bit of initial information. Let's talk about the route, how long it is, how many stations, all that sort of good stuff. And for that I've always got this graphic from the road maps and stuff. So here is the graphic for MBTA Commuter. So we've got Boston to Framingham and Worcester, which is 44 miles long. We've got 18 stations. As you can see, it starts in Boston over here, goes down towards Back Bay. This is what we've already got in Boston Sprinter, the Boston Providence route. And then it goes along here in a east-west alignment towards Worcester, and we've also got Framingham somewhere as well, which is quite a key line for MBTA. And of course, if you've not already seen it, there is a first look video for the MBTA Commuter which shows off the new rolling stock and whatever else, so I'll keep that linked in the description so you can go check that out and listen to some of the sounds and some of the route features and all that sort of good stuff. So a little bit of the initial information. Obviously the route is 44 miles long, which I think is relatively similar to Boston Providence. It has 18 stations, which I think is more than Boston Providence. We've obviously got the likes of Boston Station, which is quite a key station. I think it's the northern terminus of the northeast corridor, so it's going to be quite a busy station as well. Obviously we saw how busy it was in the Boston Sprinter route, so it's going to be a lot busier now with a lot more MBTA stock. And we've also got some CSX freight, which I know a lot of people are excited for as well, but there's a lot of requirements for that. As for the included rolling stock, obviously we'll go into more detail with this, but we've got the MBTA HSP 46 and the F40PH 3C and the cab cars. The price is £29.99. I'm not too sure what that translates to into euros and dollars, but I think it's around about $39.99 and €34.99. Seems to make sense. And the release date is the 12th of November, which when you're watching this is next Tuesday. I'm planning to release this on the Saturday prior to it, so yeah, very soon, not far away. And some of the layers we know about are the Amtrak Acela, the ACS 64, and like I've just alluded to, some CSX freight. So let's talk a little bit about the included rolling stock, the HSP 46 and the F40PH, and also the cab cars. So this is a screenshot of the HSP 46 and it looks absolutely stunning. Look at it. It looks beautiful. I'm quite excited to get behind the not the wheel of this, the levers of this, levers, whatever you want to call them. Here we've got a screenshot from, I think, Boston South Station. It looks familiar, and obviously you've got the new HSP 46 and the double-decker coaches, and we've also got the F40PH there as well, which we saw in the previous MBTA route. And also we've got some, looks like, obviously we're going to have double-decker and single-decker coaches coupled up to one another, and that's an example just in the corner there. This is a Rotom cab car, I believe, which I think I've got written down later on in the slideshow. If you didn't know, by the way, this is a PowerPoint presentation, so it's always fun doing this. So yeah, we've got the HSP 46, which is a new unit Train Sim World, a very nice looking unit, and I think it's solely run by MBTA, so I'm not too sure if it runs anywhere else. It's an example of a diesel-electric locomotive. People always tell me in the comments what that means, and I always forget. So it is what it is. It's a diesel-electric. And these were built in the 2010s, I think 2013, but I could be wrong. And it's a nice addition to the MBTA fleet, which I think there's not really much in the fleet for MBTA, is there? I know there was. What's the one that we just got for San Bernardino? The MP36. They used to run them on the MBTA as well. As for the C2C-5 cab car, this is a new cab car with the bi-level coaches too, and it also can be coupled up to the single-decker coaches, which would be quite cool. Nice bit of variation. Also included is the stock that was seen in Boston Sprinter, which is the MBTA F40PH, which was built in the 1970s, and it's also a diesel electric locomotive. And also the cab car as well, which I've driven a few times. So let's talk a little bit about the layers, and surprisingly there's quite a lot for layers on this route, a lot of freight for those that are interested in that. So first up, we've obviously got the ACS 64, the Amtrak stock, which I believe, yeah, it's at Boston South Station. That's quite cool actually, I quite like that signage there, it looks really nice. We've also got the Acela, and as you can see the double-decker coaches there. We've also got new PIS as well, which is quite cool. And of course this is a screenshot of some CSX freight, which there's quite a few requirements to get the freight. I think you need horseshoe curve, sandpatch grade, and there's another one. I can't quite remember. If anyone knows, please pop it in the comments. So here you go, some layers. The MBTA F40PH, which is kind of incorrect. It's actually included, but you know what I'm saying. It's sort of a layer. Got some ECS movements with the Amtrak ACS 64 and the Acela. I think there's only like 2 or 3 services a day with them. And of course, you've got all the applicable freight units, included the AC 4400, the GP 38, and the SD 40. I have no idea anything about freight, so I probably won't be running too much of it, but I know that a lot of you like your American freight, so it's a nice like hybrid route again, which is similar to San Bernardino as well, where you had the passenger running, then you had a bit of freight running, so it's going to be a nice mixture. So on to my favourite part of these videos, the timetable. Now, of course, I go out and do some research for these timetables. I actually go to the applicable place to get a PDF or whatever and try and figure out how many trains per day. At this point, we do know how many services it is, so it kind of defeats the purpose, but I've still gone through and got a timetable to see what sort of services we can expect. And here we go. This is taken from the MBTA website. This is the Boston, Framingham, Worcester line and the timetable for that. And as you can see, there's not that many trains a day. It's quite a quiet line. I think there's roughly about 1 train per hour. Interestingly, if you note here, in the early morning, there's a couple of trains per hour. There's about 2 or 3 in each direction, and then it kind of fizzles out and becomes 1 train per hour for the rest of the day, which is quite interesting. So I don't imagine there'll be too many trains, or it'll be overly busy. I think it'll run quite well on all platforms. So it's going to be a true life timetable, but it's one of them. It's like similar to the Metrolink stock as well, where the timetables are like 1 train per hour. That's just how it is in America. So a bit of a breakdown of the timetable. We've got 1 train per hour in each direction, but there's some additional peak time services, and we've got quite a few ECS movements as well. And I think there was something I saw in the preview stream. There was what do they call them? There was like F40PHs carrying some flatbed wagons. I can't remember what they called them, but you've got them sorts of services too. For freight, you've obviously got a lot of switching services, and I think there's a couple of runs that go along the Worcester to Framingham section. I think the CSX stock would then carry on past Worcester. I'm not too sure. If you know about CSX and what it would do, let me know. And of course, we've got some other ECS movements with the Amtrak stock at Boston. So in total, it's not a massive timetable, but it's realistic, and I think it's around about 150 to 160 services. I think it was 154 last time I checked. So normally in this part of the video I would talk about a potential loco DLC, but I actually can't think of any for this. I don't know whether we could have maybe another MBTA loco or anything else for freight. Is there anything else freight wise that runs on this route? Let me know, I'm not too sure. So yeah, just comment below some suggestions you may have for what could be added onto this route, because I'm not too sure. And on to the final section for this video, some route features. What does this route have, like landmark wise and all that sort of good stuff? So obviously this is a screenshot I used earlier on in the slideshow, but we've got Boston South Station, which is going to be incredibly busy. A route feature that is new to this is obviously the PIS. The PIS looks absolutely fantastic, and I hope they backport it onto Boston Sprinter. That'd be really nice. We've got Worcester Union Station. At least I think this is Worcester Union Station. I hope so. But it looks similar to what I've seen online. It looks quite nice. But the key feature for this screenshot is that you have wrong side running or something like that, which basically means that in America they drove on the wrong side of the road. So some of the trains actually go on to the left-hand side of the tracks, which is obviously for us Brits is natural, but for them it's completely wrong. So there's an example where sometimes it does change track and kind of runs the wrong way, let's say. This screenshot is also good to highlight the variation in wagons too. You can see that the double-decker coaches are coupled up to a single-decker coach down there, so there's a lot of variation in the sort of consist you'll be pulling. So this rather low-res picture is Fenway Park, which I believe can be seen from the line, and I think it's also got a station serving it. And Fenway Park is a baseball stadium, I believe. It looks like baseball anyway. Looks like similar to what I played on Wii Sports many years ago. But yeah, quite cool that we're going to see this on the horizon. So yeah, just a couple of key features. We've obviously got Boston South Station and Worcester Union Station, 2 quite key stations on this line. Obviously Boston South's going to be incredibly busy, and Worcester Union is just going to look quite nice. And of course for key landmark features, we've got Fenway Park, which is going to look really cool on the horizon. And that's pretty much it. That is everything you can expect to see from the MBTA Commuter route, which comes out next week. I'm quite looking forward to it. So before I go into my final thoughts on this route, are you excited for this route? Are you going to pick it up? Let me know in the comments. It'd be interesting to find out, because I did run a poll on a previous stream and a lot of people were quite mixed, so let me know in the comments what you think about this route and whether you're going to get it. As for my final thoughts, I'm quite looking forward to this route. I liked Boston Providence. I found it really fun, so I can imagine this is going to be a very similar vibe. It's also quite cool to see another MBTA route. I know that MBTA are very enthusiastic to work with dovetails, so I can imagine it's going to be, it's going to look good, sound good. I know they got some referencing from the actual yards from MBTA themselves, so it's going to be very accurate as well, which I'm looking forward to. And it's also just cool to see more America in the game as well. You know, can't go wrong with a bit of United States action. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be quite realistic. It's going to look very nice as well, I can imagine. So yeah, I hope that if you pick the route up, you enjoy it, and let me know what you think of it if you do. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'd massively appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next video. Bye bye.